We're going to solve these three division problems with fractions by having a look at using some simplification and cross-cancelling to help us make the equations a little bit more simple. First thing we have to do, let's have a look at this one here, 2/4 divided by 2/6. First thing we should do is rename this division problem as a multiplication problem. So we invert the problem into something that we can actually deal with a bit more easily. And we remember our key idea of stick, and then we flip, and then we flip. And that will help us rename the equation. So if I do that stick, that means I don't change the original in my renamed equation. So this becomes 2/4 again. That's good. Flip, so I'm going to flip the operator. In this case, it's division. So I'm going to invert it, do the inverse, and the opposite of dividing is multiplying. So it becomes multiplying, and then it flips the last fraction. And so what that means is I'm going to swap the numerator and the denominator around. So instead of 2/6, it becomes 6/2. And now I can look for my easy wins in terms of either cross-cancelling or simplifying. So I'm going to do both methods. So the first one I'm going to do is simplifying. So I can see here that 2/4, I can divide both of the numerator and the denominator by 2. And what will I get? 2 divided by 2 is 1. 4 divided by 2 is 2. So this becomes a half now. And then I can do the same actually for 6/2. I can divide both numbers by 2, so this becomes a 3, and this becomes a 1. So my new equation looks like this, a half times 3/1. And then it's simply numerator times numerator, denominator times denominator, and that's 3/2. And then I can just simplify. 3 divided by 2, which is what this fraction says, is 1 with 1 left over, and the denominator is 2. So this would be the final mixed number answer. As I said, you can use another method, and that is cross-cancelling. So I'll start off with where we started here, okay? So we've got what? 2/4 times 6/2. Okay, so let's cross-cancel. Cross-cancelling means I'm looking this way and this way for opportunities to basically simplify. So if I looked on this diagonal, I can see that 2 and 2, well, they both have a common factor, and the common factor is 2. So 2 divided by 2, well, that's 1. And 2 divided by 2 down here, that's 1. And I can also cross-cancel going this way because they're both even again. So that makes it nice and easy. So 4 divided by 2 is 2, and 6 divided by 2 is 3. So my new equation looks like this, 1/2 times 3/1. And hey presto, it looks exactly the same as the one above. And so we get the same answer. 1 times 3 is 3. 2 times 1 is 2, and rename as a mixed number. So that's how you can do a simple one like that. Let's look at the next one. So again, let's do the old stick, flip, flip, and see where we get to. So stick, we go with 6/8. Flip, do the opposite of division. Flip, just swap around the numerator and denominator. Okay, now let's take a good look. There are options. I'll start with simplifying again. That's a nice easy way to do it. So simplifying 6/8, we divide by 2. So we get 3/4. And here I'm going to divide by 2. So it's going to be 7/6. So that gives me a new equation of 3/4. I'm just renaming the equation over 7/6. And I have a quick look. Is there any cross-cancelling opportunity there? Not with this way. 4 and 7, they don't share any common factors apart from 1, and 1 won't get us anywhere. But this way, 3 and 6, there's an opportunity there. I can divide both by 3. So 3 divided by 3, well, that's 1, and 6 divided by 3 is 2. So the new equation now looks like this, 1/4 times 7/2. 1 times 7 is 7. 4 times 2 is 8. And that is it. Let's try and do it by simplifying. So let's go with the original renaming. So 6/8 times 14/12. Okay, so let's do some simplifying. 6/8, I can divide 6 and 8 by 2, so I end up with 3/4. And this one over here, I can divide both by 2 again, so that's going to be 7/6. Okay, so renaming looks like this, 3/4 times 7/6. Ooh, looks exactly the same as that. So 3 times 1. Oh, sorry. And then I can, oh, look, there's another one over here. There's another opportunity to simplify. I can cross simplify here. So that'll be 1. That'll be 2. And there we go. So 7, 4 times 2 is 8. And we get to the same answer. Let's look at the last one over here. 6 divided by 6/9. So again, let's stick, flip, flip. Okay, so I'm going to stick with 6. The only issue is that it's a whole number. Now remember, what I need to do is we need to be dealing with fractions. So if I do have a whole number at any stage, what I need to do is convert that to a fraction. So 6 is useful, but it's more useful to call it as a fraction, and any whole number as a fraction is over 1. Okay, now I can flip, do the opposite of division, which is multiply, and then flip again, swap the numerator and denominator. Now I can look for some easy wins with some simplifying or cross-cancelling. I'll do some cross-cancelling here. So 6 this way here, 6 and 6 on the diagonal. So both of them can be divided by 6. So 6 divided by 6 is 1. 6 divided by 6 is 1. Now I can get on with it. 1 times 9, 9. 1 times 1, 1. 9 divided by 1 is 9. And that's the answer.